Ted Harkey.
All right, well, it is 6:30, and it looks like we officially have a quorum, so we can get started with the meeting. I'm going to call this to order at 6:30. Can we get a roll call, please?
Furtado.
Here.
Hownauer Friedman. Ingram. Locke.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Vanek Theranot. Wilson.
Here.
Lockshin.
Here. Thank you. All right, can I get an approval of today's agenda, please?
So moved.
Oh, so moved.
Second.
Smith, second Locke. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Approval of the minutes from the October 3rd, 2023 meeting. So move Wilson, second Locke. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. I have no public participation slips here, and looks like we don't have any members of the public present to participate. So we'll move on to communications. Any board communications for today? No? Oh, Mr. Wilson.
Hey, just a reminder, Veterans Day is just around the corner, Saturday. And if you see a veteran, say thank you. It was my great delight on Sunday at breakfast to meet a individual that just got out of boot camp for the Marines. And I said, well, thank you for your service. And he's only 18 years old, so he doesn't really understand what that means. But anyway, it was nice to see a young man, pursuing service for his country. Anyway, Veterans Day coming up, so honor the vets. That's it.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Mike, for both serving. Okay, moving on to new business. First item is an update on ITB 2022-008 County Plaza Renovation Project. We have Carla Smalley and Caleb Capel. Is that? Capel. All right. Here to update. Thank you.
Can you hear us? Okay.
All right. So just to start off, just go through some site photos. So the first one is just the west exterior view of the curtain wall. That was alternate one that's in progress currently. So I think this one and the next photo was a little further view back. So it's going well throughout the project. And then we can click on. Here's the first floor, metal stud framing and some mechanical electrical roughing going on down on the first floor area. This would be also on the first floor where the display case roughing is currently in place. Here's the first to second floor stair landing with the new railings in place. So it's looking nice. This is just a view looking west through the new curtain wall system up on the second floor, I believe. Level 3, drywall is hung, getting ready. I believe they've actually started on the drywall finishing on the third floor now. Just a picture of the corridor there showing the drywall is all hung out. Up on the roof, they're about 90% complete with the roof, and the rooftop curbs have been set, waiting on that rooftop unit. Next one's just a roof as well. So
Yeah, I think I went too far. There we go.
Yep, and then some walk pads have been set on the roof to help protect that during the installation of the RTUs, which are scheduled for the 26th of December. This is just showing some of the temp partitions we have built while doing the curtain wall replacement to try and trap in some heat as the winter months come upon us. Fourth floor tape and finish and priming is underway on the fourth floor.
Yeah, we were just there.
Oh,
And
okay.
they're actually painting accent colors
Oh,
on the fourth
beautiful.
floor now, too. So,
Very
yeah,
nice.
coming along.
Yeah, I think it's
This is
just
fourth.
more fourth floor. I believe this is the level 5 finish, I think example on the fourth floor level that was up for discussion in one of the change orders under review. And then this is level 5, the framing and rough-in, that's just on hold while the review of RFP 10 change order request number 34 is under review.
I think that's it.
Yep. One thing Austin had mentioned to me was in the last meeting, I believe that maybe there's a question about safety. So in that folder on the flash drive, the contractor safety orientation. So he just wanted me to hit on that for all new workers coming to the site. We have a on-site safety orientation that they all go through. We run through this document here, just kind of letting them know of the personal protective equipment they have to wear. They sign the form, and then once they've completed, they get a Bro and Russo hard hat sticker to let us know that they've all been through the safety orientation. And then every other week, there is a site safety audit by our third-party inspection group, Gray and Associates. And if you go back into the folder, you'll see one of those monthly or bi-weekly reports. Yeah, yeah, site audit report. Yep, sorry. I guess I could look over here
No, you're
instead of.
I think we have that in our packet too, pages 19 on, if you want to take a look a little closer up.
Perfect. And so he just runs through, flags any safety concerns that are on the job sites, gets that to the on-site contact, which would be Austin and Scotty, and they get those items resolved immediately and send the report back to close the report that any open or pending items, just to keep everyone on site safe. And I think that's all that I have for my portion.
Great. I think then, the pay app, I do have the pay app. I can sign that, or give that, go ahead.
Can I go back to the safety
Sure.
slides? Thanks.
The audit report or the
Yeah.
orientation?
Audit's fine. A couple columns. One is the concern itself. In this case, it was power tool grinder without guards. Then the recommendation is add guards. Was the recommendation carried out?
Yes, so it was corrected on 10/23.
So that's what it means. It was closed on, so that means the recommendation was carried out? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Going back to the one that had the electrical panel open.
Here? Is this
Yeah.
the one you were looking for? Yeah,
Yes,
I
that's
can make
the
it
one.
larger too.
Live panels must have doors that are closed when not working on them.
That's just for the panel cover, having the breakers, they want that, the panel cover actually closed when someone is not there working directly at that panel or flipping the breakers on and off.
Okay. All right, thank you. And thanks for the report, that's good.
Oh, well, Austin did the work. He teed it up nicely for me and said, can you fill
Well, you
in
get
for
all
me?"
the credit because you're the messenger.
I'm here, right? Well, thank you.
Thanks.
You want to cover a little bit of the schedule, if you're updated on that, Caleb?
I don't currently have
Okay.
that. If there's something, I can get Austin to follow up with if you'd like.
Yeah, we just had a meeting a week ago, so let me see if I can remember a couple of things that would be helpful. So roofing hopefully is done shortly. There'll be some things, once the equipment's put in place, they'll have to come up and probably finish. Painting is still going on, weather-related, or weather depending when we work. I don't know if they came in and worked over the weekend. I know we had roofers at another project working all weekend. But I would anticipate the painting be done by the latter part of this month. For the most part, the west side's done, the north side's done. They've got portions of the east side. Everything's been, the primer's been put on, so it's basically put the top coat back on. Glass installation, as you saw, is going on the west side. We anticipate that not being concluded until sometime in late January. It's a slow, meticulous process. The glazer is building. Each time they go in to start ripping out a section, they do build a wood and visqueen wall in the interior to try and maintain some heat within the building and keep everything in the building so it doesn't get wet. As you've seen, we've got drywall in place, paint, so rather important to keep that up and going. A number of the big pieces of equipment aren't due until, like the air handlers aren't due until, I believe, I think you said sometime in December.
26th.
I'm still not sure. We haven't got an actual delivery date yet on the generator, whole building generator. And I've not seen anything. Carl, have you seen anything yet on electric service?
I've not.
Yeah, we need to talk to them and see what that potential date is. But they're making great progress. Braun Russo truly believes that, from their perspective, project should be done May, early June at the latest. Again, as you're aware, we've got elevator issues, as you saw by the tour today. We just signed an agreement with Otis Elevator. In fact, have a pre-construction meeting with them Wednesday or Thursday
Yeah.
of this week. It'll be via Zoom, and then we'll do a meeting here so that we make sure that we go over the ground rules of operation, because Otis will be here, Braun Russo will be here as they begin work on those elevators. So they believe each elevator will take approximately 14 weeks once the materials have been ordered. At the pre-construction meeting, we've already asked for their schedule, so we'll be able to share that next month with the facility committee members once we confirm it. So that's kind of what's happening and what's on a horizon for the plaza.
Carla, did you have anything that you were going to add for? I feel like you got cut off there, sorry.
No.
Okay.
I think we're good. I didn't know if we were ready to move on to the change orders or.
No, any other questions on the update? Excuse me. Okay, then we can move on to item B, discussion and approval of those change orders. 19, 20, and 21 attached, listed on page, starting to 25 there.
Yeah, so I think 19 is the, is that the level 5 reduction? Yeah,
Yeah.
There we go.
got it.
19 is the fifth floor modifications for the public defender and IT. When we originally sat down with Bailey Edwards and the previous executive, we were operating on a set of rules, and those have changed. We allotted some space on the fifth floor for IT, and when we discussed that with the public defender let us know that she's needing a number of offices, it's 22, plus some other space, which she's had. But I think we had to create 4 more offices for her up on that floor. I think there's something else in there was reworked as well, but primarily it's the 5th floor. So, Bourne Russo took it to their subs, came back, and it's a $63,000 add-on change order that we'd like to move forward with. It's paramount from talking to the public defender, needing the space for her offices. They did tour it. She feels very comfortable now up on the 5th floor. She recognizes the fact that there'll be a lot better space than what they're currently in on the 1st floor at the courthouse. So, questions?
Okay. So I guess, were there any other, I guess,
I'll just keep
sorry,
going.
it looks like all the other change orders are within that same scope, so. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Next one up, change order number 20, is a credit change in the level 5 drywalling, sanding, mudding, if you will, to a level 4 in some areas. So basically, level 5 is when they put up a drywall. Level 5 means that they've covered the entire piece of drywall with mud and resanded. Where you want those is in high visibility areas where there's direct sunlight. So we, with Bourne Russo's assistance, we went through the building, identified those key targets, if you will, for stay at level 5 and move the others to a level 4. And we're able to reduce the mudding and sanding down by $23,000, which is a credit back to us, reducing the cost of the overall contract. Next one up, number 21, is a modification to gas and water line by city inspector. Can't get around that one as much as we want to argue about it. $6,318.88 with their subs for the plumbers, and then a little bit for Bourne Russo and their contract. So those three, and we are still we're within our striking distance, basically, of our $1 million we set aside for change orders. Haven't exceeded that, but we're getting close to the ceiling.
Any questions on change orders? All right. So all in favor of, sorry, I lost my spot here. The change orders for ITB 2022-008 County Plaza Renovation Project, number 19, 20, and 21.
So moved.
Oh, we got to move for it first. That's all right. All right.
Second.
We got a second? Sorry, who was the second? Was that Ellie? Okay. Okay, now all in favor. Any opposed? All right, those are good. We can move on to the update on the Otis Elevator project.
Yeah,
Started on some of that,
I kind of did that sort of it was pertinent to the discussion of County Plaza building, but again, we'll be meeting, pre-construction meeting this week with Otis. They will be giving us a schedule. They'll be getting their materials list to our architect, Carla, and her team. And once that's approved, they'll get the materials and equipment ordered. So try and meet their schedule. So
Stephanie?
I see that it says last day to achieve substantial completion is April 30th, but if I do the math of 14 weeks times 3, that doesn't seem possible.
that was an issue with the contract. It actually is going to be November 1st of 2024. Yeah. Yeah, that was unfortunately a carryover, which is easily fixed, and it's been changed already, so. Thank you, though, for noting it.
Beth, did you have a question? Okay. Any other questions, comments? All right. Moving it forward to the courthouse parking lot access control project.
I'll start, you can finish up. So just a reminder, access control is putting in basically gate arms. We're going to widen the, what is the south entrance to the courthouse parking lot. There is 105 spaces currently being used. In the lot, there's 7 handicap spaces in the lot. When we do this project, we will lose basically 10 spaces. The good news is we've not refilled, when people have departed during this past year, we have not refilled folks into that lot. We've been allowing them to park over it at County Plaza. So we're down to 96, and I think we have someone leaving, so we'll be right at that number. We're also adding a couple of more handicap spaces as well as 5 motorcycle spots in the lot. The north side of the lot will be, for all intents and purposes, barricaded with the large concrete barriers that you see along construction, particularly if you're driving in between Champaign and Urbana on 74. They've got a whole bunch of them out there. We're going to do that temporarily. Temporary could be a year, could be 2 years, just to see how how it's progressing. We have a meeting later this week with Deuce Construction, who's the contractor, and we'll get their schedule as to the work. Once we dig up and the entrance, we'll be replacing it with concrete, so we don't have to mess with asphalt there. We'll have to bore some lines of communication for the access control back into the courthouse. In actuality, the system that we'll be putting in over at the County Plaza eventually will actually control both parking lots. There'll be a tie-in back over to the plaza. I hope to be done before Christmas with this construction. With one piece left, they just didn't feel comfortable. Within the bid document, we wanted to put a coating over the top of the asphalt, just trying to make it last a little bit longer than repaint. They just don't feel comfortable, because we're running into winter here doing that. So they'll have to come back in the spring and do both of those. A lot easier to do it on the weekend too, when nobody's here, and we can notify staff to stay out, and we'll certainly close off the lot. But that's basically what that is. For Mike, since you're a new member, one of the reasons that we're doing this is that we changed a year ago. The lot used to be both public and staff, and we changed it to staff only. And we've put up signs to keep the staff, keep the staff out, to keep the public out. But they continue to get in there, and it's difficult, particularly when you have staff that goes in and out throughout the day for various activities of business. It's a bit of a problem. So we did that not to penalize the public, but really to protect our staff, keeping them there, keeping them closer to the building, particularly in these time change months. As you know, when they start leaving at 5 o'clock or later, it's dark out. The public comes when the building is open during the day and it's light out, and they have lots of potential parking spaces within a 3-block radius of the courthouse from the city of Urbana. So felt good about it. I think the staff is really pleased with it, with the exception we got to stop the public from coming in. So this is our way of trying to protect the staff's parking spaces.
Ellie?
Are there any EV charging stations in that lot or the new County Plaza lot for staff?
That's a great question. There are none currently in either location. I have talked to Steve about it, and Steve has talked to RPC to see if there's potentially some grants out there for that. So we're hoping that at some point that can occur. We have staff members who are driving EV vehicles. Chris, Building and Grounds Manager, is one of them. He would love to be able to charge up But there are several others too, as well as the public that come in, so. Yes, as, you know, nationally, as we try and get our arms around EV vehicles and how you do that, it's, everybody's gonna need to help out with that, so.
Stephanie?
I wanted to mention our grant writer starts tomorrow.
Oh.
I think, right? This week, soon. Her name is Amanda, and she starts really soon. So we could have RPC, but we also now, Steve has a part-time grant writer in his shop. Maybe this is something we could put her on as well.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right, thank you. I think you are, yes.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank you. So next up is ITV 2022-009 Satellite Jail Construction Update. Oh.
Committee members, we did put photos in the packet as well for the satellite jail, so I believe the photos that you got, Chris, that Trevor provided.
Yeah, these are it. I don't know if you have any drone shots or not. Do you do? Okay.
Yeah, we
I don't
do.
have those.
The drone shots were included.
Okay. All right, so we've got, we'll go through some pictures, show you guys here some updates on our progress. Here you have a picture of the southeast corner of the building. You kind of see up top all the insulation for the roofing staged up there. We just hit the halfway point on our roof, so the south half is done, with exception of kind of the tower area or the taller section, which they'll be doing tomorrow. Here's just a picture here of the north side, where the vendors kind of access at the existing jail. You can see all the windows and the doors are temporarily. We have temp openings in there, as we're also getting ready for temporary heat throughout the winter. This photo here is of just the north side of the building. It's fairly open. Most of the construction's happening in the south side. And it's primarily all masonry at this point, and some electrical and light mechanical rough-in. It's another picture. We get a lot of pictures of block here, so as usual, it's very exciting. But here's, I think this room here is the exercise room. Again, here on the north side. This is the outdoor exercise area. All the masonry's done. The joists are set. And it gets it stays open with some fence-like material that goes on top of it. This is now on the south side, where most of our work's really been happening. The flow of this project goes from south to north. So these are cells. So what's missing is the front wall. Up top here gets a concrete deck, and then a wall that goes all the way up to the deck. So that's kind of give you an idea of the size of each cell. Here again, this is a different area where the east side of the south side, where we have the walls all built and all the embeds in for all the bunks. And this kind of gives you an idea. It's kind of a tough picture, but you can see back through where that ladder's sitting. That's the mechanical chase. That's where all the maintenance staff will be spending a lot of their time accessing all the MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing items that are back supporting the interior spaces. That's all I got on pictures. Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks. What's the footprint of a cell? 8 by 8, 20 by 20, 100 by 15?
Much closer to 6 by 7. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
6 by 7?
Yeah, it's a little bit larger than that, but I don't remember what the specific dimensions are.
All righty, thanks. Small. Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Comments? All right. Thank you. Okay, so moving on, we have an update on those change orders for that project, numbers 13 through 19.
Yes, for change order 13, previously we talked about a concrete duct bank that was unforeseen, that we had built our new corridor wall over top of it. There were certain areas, though, that that concrete duct bank had to be removed to allow for more foundations for other walls going in perpendicular to it. So change order 13 is for removing that extra concrete and some of the thickened slab around it to allow for those new foundations. Change order number 14 was a credit for elimination of some of the razor wire on the interiors, separating fences in the refuge area outdoors. It was determined through discussions with the county and with Captain Vogus that the interior partition fences didn't require that additional razor wire, so this is removing that from the scope. We also substituted some larger slider gates in the exterior fencing between the existing jail and the new jail, putting those in as a smaller swing gate. And that's in relation to another change order we'll get to in a second. Change order number 15 is to provide some roof drain modifications. This was noticed when we were enclosing the existing outdoor recreation spaces. Currently, the existing roof has some overflow scuppers that allow for any backup of water on the roof to spill out over onto what is currently an exterior slab and go to the storm drains in that slab. However, the alternate that we accepted to enclose that outdoor rec space and make it indoor rec space, those overflow drains were going to be covered. So what this adds is some small rework of the drains to allow for that overflow to be piped to the exterior. Change order number 16. This is to provide concrete pavement on both the north and the south sides of the areas between the existing jail and the new addition. And the way it was designed, this was going to be a small area of grass. It was going to be enclosed by a fence, and through discussions with the county, it was determined that that was going to be a maintenance issue, and they had asked for that to be paved with concrete. And part of that goes back to the other credit we were talking about. Instead of needing the large slider for lawnmowers and whatnot to get through to that space, it really just needs a man gate at that point. Change order number 17. This is the final number for the additional site work that was previously approved under a not-to-exceed cost in construction change directives early on in the process for the additional site work that was necessary to enlarge the basin, the detention basin, to comply with the City of Urbana's building permit review. So this number is less than what the not-to-exceed cost was. I think the difference was about $38,000 in,
Actually, it's a little more. It's 183 is what the committee approved back in May's meeting. It was a change order directive at that time to not exceed, so, I mean, it's been approved, but I
Yeah.
wanted to
So the new
present
number
to you
would
the
be-
final number and let you vote on it again.
yeah, and the new number is 144, 994. Change order number 18 is to provide some additional under drain piping. This is again is somewhat related to the detention basin, where we had attempted to attach that piping to a manhole. It was discovered that the manhole didn't actually have an elevation at the proper depth to get the drain to connect. So we found another manhole relatively close by to connect to. So this is for that additional drain. Change order 19 is to add additional rebar in some exterior security walls. The drawings attempted to indicate additional security rebar in those cells, and it's somewhat unclear. So what we did as a team, we identified or had a conversation before those walls got built, whether that was necessary or not, and got that built correctly. This is just addition or the cost to add those rebars that were not caught on bid day.
All right, any questions, comments on those?
Just to highlight before you're going is, prior to including 13 through 19, we were sitting on about a credit of about $220,000. With these added in, we're still at a credit of about $9,100 approximately. So we're doing exceedingly well with the credits that, some of these changes have come about because it's a team effort with the contractor, the architect, with the correction staff, and allowing us to do that. So we know that, we've planned on change orders. They just happen during projects. There'll be a few more. We will be adding some casework for booking and some storage for booking coming up soon. A few other things, but, hopefully not a whole lot more, but we're really in terrific shape. You can never compare project to project, but, this one's a lot different. This is new construction, new building. We didn't go into a facility that was, 40 or 50 years old and not built at the best. So, we've got good bones to work with over here, and so we're doing really well.
Jeff?
Thank you. Remind me about the retention basin. Why did that have to be expanded?
So, if memory serves, it's been several months. During the plan review process, the engineers doing the city review had asked for our civil engineers to verify that the amount of detention was adequate for not only the area that we were adding to, but also the area that already existed on the site. And when we provided that, the previous information given to us from the engineer from when the building was built originally, they had asked for more documentation and more calculation to show that that was actually correct. And when our engineer went to check those numbers didn't add up. They didn't come out right. So the additional detention area was a requirement to account for not only our site, our new building, but the existing building as well.
So the original analysis missed the requirement, it was incorrect, and your engineers caught it, or how would that work?
So our engineers based the existing information for the detention on the report that we were given. And the city asked that we confirm that those numbers were right. And that's when it was discovered.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was obviously unfortunate. Nobody wanted to, especially us, wanted to add to the retention basin that, hate to say this, but we've never ever seen it filled. So we have a very large detention basin. Now, it is true, it takes the water from the existing building as well as Brookins. There's a drain path from Brookins, and there's also a drain path from Lehrman. So we certainly have enough retention area now to cover all those areas and make a pond, so.
Suppose the engineer figured out, did they correct their process, or how'd they change? You probably don't know, do you?
Yeah, I'm not the engineer that did the calculations, but yeah, typically when we're given a analysis by another engineer, we take that to be a done deal, and
Yep, I understand that, but yeah.
so
It was actually sealed, probably stamped by a seal, right?
yeah, no, it was a little bit surprising to be asked to double check those, but that's what we did.
Oh, I'm glad you did. Can I have one more question? On this topic? Or should I wait till we? No, let's
Leon?
finish the change
Yeah,
order,
yeah.
then I have a question.
Oh, it's not on the change orders. Okay. Any other questions on the change orders? No? Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson. Well, these ones aren't indicated that we need to vote. Do we vote on these?
We haven't yet.
What? Well, it just says update on change orders. It doesn't say that we need to do an approval, but that's why I wasn't clear that we do need to vote on these, or?
We need to.
Okay. Well, then, can I get a motion for, okay, I'm a second. And seconded by Jen Locke. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Go ahead.
All right, thanks. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. So you're, both of you. I really like the presentation the previous organization presented on safety and the safety audit. I was wondering, do you have the same process, or is there an audit that you want to publish also that we could see how safety is being monitored and controlled?
You don't want to answer, Chris?
I mean, you gave a great discussion last month,
Yeah.
and then
No.
I was really pleasantly, well, I was just surprised to see a full report. I was really glad to see that. I was just wondering, I'm sure you do the same thing, you just haven't published it yet.
Yeah, we don't generally publish those. We're happy to send you all a copy of the last inspection we had. We had our director of safety there last year, along with last week, along with one of our safety engineers. And Chris was also there during the audit, but we spent probably an hour and a half with that team and our subcontractors walking. We have a full report of that. Every day, we have a daily safety audit that either Trevor or I or the both of us fill out every day, and that's finalized on Friday of every week. That addresses every safety stop that we conduct, right, where we talk to someone who might be doing something that would require a safety discussion, and we make sure they understand what they're doing and we're doing it a safe way. Or if someone doesn't have the proper PPE, we document that daily. So we have all that. I'm happy to share our last report from last week. It was a pretty thorough one. So yeah, just didn't think to provide an audit report in the for the minutes tonight, but
Well, you're not required to, right?
I'm
Not that I
happy
know
to
of. It would be,
Yeah.
it would just be nice to see, like, the next meeting, what your weekly observations showed and lessons learned and stuff like that. Just, you don't have to do it, it's just be nice to see it, that's all.
I don't have a problem with that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? I think we're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, sorry, we have an update on the Humane Society building. Yes, Stephanie?
I'd like it entered into the record that Carla has the coolest signature in the entire county.
Noted. Can we get an approval? No. Okay. Update on the Humane Society. Thank you.
Okay, we've had a chance to sit down with Director of Animal Control. He's had his staff over to take a look at the building. So we're doing two studies. One on mechanicals, HVAC systems, plumbing, and the other on some of the changes, physical changes that the director would like to see. The study basically will provide us with estimated costs and kind of give us an idea. Next year, Animal Control has approximately $150,000 available for funding to do some of these projects. We'll see what that takes us, how far it goes. We will actually start, we've got some quality maintenance staff that we're going to tear apart some of the things that we've discussed that they want taken down and moved around. So in colder days during the winter here, we'll get in, rip and tear in there and shore up what needs to be done. But trying to get those reports done, those studies between now and by the end of December, so that we're ready to sit down with Animal Control and you folks to kind of show you what we've got, what our thoughts and ideas are. So it's kind of the update.
Any questions on that building? No? All right. I have no other business. Looks like, my pages are a little stuck together. And no presiding officer's report. Our next meeting will be December 5th at 6:30. The items to be placed on the consent agenda are number 6B and 6F. And with that, we are adjourned at 7:18. Thank you.